political correspondent Henry Zeffman, who's outside the count's been happening indoors there in the last 20 minutes or so. Henry, give us your assessment of that result we've just seen.
It's a massively significant result, Charlie, because it shows, I think, that the polling surge for Reform UK that we've been talking about for the last 10 months or so is, at least here, but also it seems in some other parts of the country, very real and then some. This is a really important result for Reform UK. By the way, it's also the closest by-election result ever, but I don't think the significance of this in the years to come is going to be for pub quiz trivia. It is going to be about whether the Labour Party can reclaim the mantle of change, because you heard there from Sarah Pochin, the new Reform UK MP for this seat where I am of Runcorn and Helsby. She claimed the mantle of change. That was Labour's manifesto commitment. That was their general election campaign slogan. One word: change. And it's clearly the case that Sir Keir Starmer was right that voters wanted change. But it appears to be the case, at least here, that 10 months in, voters don't believe he is delivering it. So the challenge for the Labour Party, the challenge for the government, is to find a way to deliver the change that they believe people crave, because the evidence appears to be that, at least in some parts of the country, if they don't feel they're getting it from the Labour government, they are turning to Nigel Farage and Reform UK.
Henry, I know you're outside the count there, and possibly not surprisingly, the first party leader to make his comments and feelings known this morning is Nigel Farage, who was there. I understand there was a bit of business whether he was inside or outside, arriving or not arriving, before the count itself. All adds to the kind of storytelling around these things, doesn't it? But tell us a little bit about what his initial comments have been.
Well, I haven't actually seen what Nigel Farage said, I'm afraid, because I was outside, Charlie. But when he was coming in, and as you say, he was originally going to come several hours before, because Reform UK thought they'd won in the middle of the night, but it turned out that the initial result was so close, just 4 votes in it, that there was then a full recount. So by some accounts, at least, Nigel Farage was doing loops of a roundabout before he eventually turned up just before that declaration, just before 6 a.m. And as he came in, he was beaming. I mean, he was obviously had a sense that they were going to win this contest here, but also will be pretty happy with what we've seen from council elections so far around the country. So, it will be very interesting to see what further things he might have to say today. In terms of the Labour Party, I'm sure we'll hear from Sir Keir Starmer a bit later in the day. We've had a Labour Party spokesperson talking about the difficult backdrop to this by-election. Of course, you can't talk enough about the highly unusual circumstances in which Mike Amesbury came to lose his seat, and clearly that can't have helped this Labour campaign. But the Labour Party also saying in response to this that they know they need to move further and faster to deliver their plan for change. It's the sort of 5 different policy areas which Keir Starmer is trying to focus his government behind. I mean, a more informal reaction I've had from Labour, I was talking to one campaigner, disconsolate campaigner who was leaving here, and they said to me, on every door, it was the same story: winter fuel and benefit cuts.
Henry, we will talk throughout the morning, of course. For the moment, thank you.